Is 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
23 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk about marijuana right now, but first I want to talk about James Bond. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm set.
All right. In the beginning of every James Bond movie, James Bond is given all these things he's going to need, these like secret weapons and things like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And in the course of the movie, he uses every single thing he gets. So I had a James Bond moment yesterday. I had this article that was in my inbox and my email. And it's from Scientific American, and this is what it says. And it prepares me for this interview we're going to do. It's almost like I had a James Bond moment. Mm-hmm. I have something yesterday to prepare for something today, and I didn't do it on purpose. So here's what it says. It says, as the legalization of medical marijuana becomes more common worldwide, medical cannabis is being prescribed by doctors and caretakers to help treat cancer-related side effects, either from the cancer itself or from treatments like chemotherapy. I'm going to skip to the next paragraph. Early research indicates that cannabinoids can do so much more. Data is showing that medical marijuana has anti-tumor effects and may one day be used as a cancer treatment, not just a drug to ease symptoms of the disease. That's pretty powerful stuff in that second paragraph, and I didn't read the whole thing, but that was just enough to give me an opportunity to introduce you to John Poss. He is a former cancer patient. I like the word former there. He's the chairman and CEO of GB Sciences. He's going to tell us about the medical magic of the cannabis plant, managing legalized marijuana, managing the discord between federal policy and state policy, and maybe even support some of that information I just read from Scientific American. Good morning, John. Thank you for being on our show.
Thanks, Larry. I'm happy to be here.
So where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Okay. It says former cancer patient. Does that mean you're done? You don't have cancer anymore?
Well, it's a technical it's a semantical issue. I have a rare cancer called GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor, and I had surgery 18 years ago. They couldn't get it all, told me to go home and die, and I was lucky enough to find a clinical trial at Dana-Farber for a drug called STI 571, now called Gleevec, which is it's an oral cancer medication. I've been taking it I took it for 17 years, and it keeps the cancer from growing, so it puts it in a suspended state. After 17 years of taking the medicine, they said to me, well, maybe you ought to just try not taking it. You know, it could be gone. And so I've been off Gleevec for a year, and I have had no return of cancer, so I guess I'm done.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm certainly happy. Yeah. So I'm very, very happy, and it's really what drives me to be passionate about cannabis, because I sat there I found out about the drug. I waited 6 months to get it because it was in a very limited supply. During those 6 months, knowing there was a drug that potentially could save my life, my situation kept deteriorating to the point I was in a wheelchair, 3 weeks from dying of liver failure from the tumors there when I started the drug, and it was transformative, and here I am today. And so it's that I have compassion for patients out there in all the states who know that cannabis can help them but can't have access to it. And so we're trying to convert that into medicine and unlock the secrets of this plant. And we've made a really amazing progress doing that.
And it sounds like it's really promising.
People are wrong.
It sounds like it's really promising.
The first is absolutely. And the thing that people have to understand is marijuana is not one thing. Okay, marijuana has cannabis, sativa, has 85 cannabinoids, distinct cannabinoids, 200 terpenes, and 180 other bioactive molecules that are relatively unstudied.
Right.
If you say cannabis will cure a disease, that's really almost nonsensical, or help a disease, because it depends on what's in the cannabis. In the case of of mitigating the symptoms of chemotherapy and the nausea and the vomiting and the terrible problems of chemotherapy. It works almost across the board because the primary active ingredient there is THC, and THC is found in pretty significant quantities in all cannabis. So you can smoke any cannabis and help your nausea and vomiting. But if you want to cure cancer, want to kill cancer cells, then you have to focus inside the plant. And this is true of every disease state. Some of the stuff in cannabis will help the disease. Some of the stuff is contraindicated and actually makes the condition worse or doesn't help. Or diminishes it counteracts the positive benefits. So what we're doing is we're studying every cannabinoid and every terpene, and we're figuring out which combinations of specific cannabinoids and specific terpenes are efficacious in treating a specific disease. And it's different for every disease state. So,
and all that makes sense. John, let me just interject something. The counterintuitive part of this probably has to do only with what you said earlier about the broad view of marijuana, is that the counterintuitive part is if you're inhaling smoke, and inhaling smoke has historically been known as a cancer causer, then inhaling smoke, even if it's from marijuana, should be also something to cause cancer, not cure cancer. But what you're saying is extracting the necessary parts of the cannabis plant in order to fight cancer, correct?
Absolutely saying that, yes. And then dosing it properly, having a proper dosage delivery. The other problem with smoking cannabis, and many of the studies in cannabis, there was no control over the dosing. For example, Norbert Kaminski, who's a great HIV researcher, he was researching the impact at Michigan State. He's researching, how cannabis helps HIV patients. But he has no control over the dosing. He says, go buy some cannabis at the dispensary, ingest it, whatever your preferential method is, ingest it, and then come back and report how you feel. But he doesn't have a clue what's in, and he's unable to have a clue because the federal government does not allow him to touch the plant at a university.
So is that what GB Sciences is doing?
Well, what we're doing is, number one, we're controlling the dosage. Number one, we're controlling the plant to create predictable quantities of specific cannabinoids and terpenes. And we do that. I could go on and how we do it, but we leave it said we do it. And we're doing research. We've got 4 patents, two that are acquired that on various compounds to treat disease states such as neurological disorders, inflammation, pain, and heart disease. And we're now about to do our first clinical trial here at the Cleveland Clinic in Las Vegas on Parkinson's compound.
Oh, wow.
And we'll follow that with another one and another one. And so, but it's a research. If I had to say one thing that the federal government could do, even if they did nothing else, open up research.
Yeah.
Because there's so much healing power in this plant that's unstudied, and we're 50 years behind the curve.
Okay, before we say goodbye, John, one quick question. Do the governments of other countries allow scientists in those countries to do what we should be doing here?
There are some countries that absolutely allow it. Spain and Israel are at the forefront of research, but Colombia is now very active in pushing a cannabis research, cannabis program. All the universities down there are doing it. We're getting some of our compounds made in England because it's federally legal there, and there are research organizations that can help us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the world is ahead, and we're not only leaving patients in the dirt, we're leaving economic opportunity from the industry we call cannabis.
The hope
we need to get that changed.
This conversation, I'm guessing, has given hope to some listeners, and I don't want to leave them hanging. So before we say goodbye, can you recommend a website?
Yes, gbsciences.com. That's George Boy, gbsciences.com. We trade OTCQB under the symbol GBLX.
Okay. gbsciences.com. John, thank you for the work you're doing. Congratulations on conquering cancer. I just love hearing that, and maybe you're a living proof that it is possible. Thank you for being on the air and sharing this with our listeners.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. You're quite welcome.
All right, we are going to take a little break. We'll be right back.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. Call right now. That number again is 800-280-2144.
With a graduate degree in management and leadership from Webster University, there'll never be a better time for you to explore what's next in your career. Classes are scheduled so you can continue your normal workday routine, and the accelerated program means a new term starts about every 10 weeks. If you're looking to gain a broad general management and leadership perspective, then Webster University's Management and Leadership degree program is the right one for you. It's all a part of what's next at Webster University.
Go to webster.edu/manage, accredited by ACBSP.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is reporting a shooting in Summerfield yesterday evening that left one man in critical condition and another man in stable condition. A series of sinkholes has opened in the water retention area on the campus of Forest High School. The parents of slain Florida teen Trayvon Martin say the Weinstein Company owes them at least $150,000 for optioning the rights to their book in order to make a yet unaired television series based on their son's legacy. The League of Women Voters and students from the University of Florida and FSU have sued Florida's chief election official over a 4-year-old edict banning the use of college buildings as early voting sites. Democratic legislators have failed in their bid to force the Republican-controlled legislature to give more money to public schools, and Disney World has launched an online system for lost and found items. And that is your news brief from the source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. More clouds and sun and rather humid on this Wednesday with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 84 to 88. Partly to mostly cloudy Wednesday night, low 68 to 72. Variable cloudiness Thursday with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 83 to 87. For Friday, clouds and some sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm or two, high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Direct connect to UCF, where students who attend the College of Central Florida and graduate with an AA or articulated AS degree are guaranteed admission to the University of Central Florida. Success coaches are ready and waiting to assist you in designing an educational plan that is right for you in any of their locations across Central Florida. Remember, connecting is easy and guaranteed. Find out more at directconnecttoUCF.com.
Hey, sweetheart, you look upset.
I just don't know how we're going to handle everything coming up these next few weeks. Graduation, Father's Day, Natalie's wedding.
Tell you what, make a list of all the events and what you want to serve. Then, just call Honey Baked Ham at 861-0011. They'll prepare everything to perfection, and they'll even deliver.
Where are they? I may just go by.
2709 Southwest 27th Avenue, just behind Best Buy.
I'm going to use Honey Baked Ham for everything.
Honey Baked Ham, making every day a special occasion.
Friends, countrymen, tourists, and Ocalans, lend me your ears. Hey, speaking of ears, there is an opportunity for you to help feed and provide good maintenance, housing, and medical care for Marion County's rescued big cats, bears, monkeys, and other disabled or unreleasable wild and exotic animals. Take a tour on Wednesdays or Saturdays of the Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary. Adults $20, children 12 and under just $12. Call 352-266-2859 for any questions.
All right. It's a really good organization, by the way. If you can ever get out there and take a tour, you'll see why we say that. I have something kind of connected to the last interview, but we don't have a guest. It's foods that help reduce the risk for prostate cancer.
Nice.
Just things you can eat. This is obviously for men, but I'm guessing that if it's foods, it's probably good for everybody. So here's a recommendation from the University of California in San Francisco regarding the different foods. You probably would be doing yourself a favor by adding this to your diet or increasing the amounts of them. I kind of wish the article also had the foods you should stay away from, because that might be even more powerful than the foods you should eat. But anyway, so the article is foods that help reduce the prostate cancer risk. Almost all North American men will develop prostate cancer if they live long enough. Autopsy studies find that prostate cancer is in 80% of men in their 80s. How about that?
Yeah, isn't that something?
And we've heard all kinds of doctors talking about prostate cancer, but let's just kind of do this surface level before we move on. Fruits and vegetables. Most fruits and vegetables are rich sources of soluble fiber, and that's associated with the reduced risk of disease. Yellow and orange vegetables such as carrots, pumpkin, and sweet potatoes that contain carotenoids are especially beneficial. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, mustard greens contain elements that combat the more aggressive forms of prostate cancer, so just keep those vegetables in mind. Beans, mushrooms, and seeds. We had one guest on who said never eat beans, but we'll have one guest one day who will contradict the guest a day later.
Yeah.
And it's when you're listening to or hosting a radio show where you talk to people all the time, it's sometimes confusing. So you have to kind of just pick and choose what you think is what sounds true for yourself. And my thinking, this is just me. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what to think. But my thinking is, if God made it available as a food, it's probably okay to eat.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think God put Twinkies on trees.
No.
And I do eat Twinkies. We always pick on the Twinkie, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
My weakness wasn't the Twinkie, by the way. When I was younger, my weakness was the Suzy Q.
Oh,
that
okay.
Was and now it's the cream horn. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Mine's still the Hershey bar forever and always.
And that's probably the healthiest of all the junk food. All right, getting back to the stuff you should eat. The onion family has a lot of good components. Garlic is in that family. Leeks, shallots, I don't even know what shallot is. Scallions, chives all contain sulfur compounds with anti-cancer properties. So
nice.
Eat your onions and your garlic and your scallion. Wow, okay, I didn't know that. Beans, mushrooms, and seeds have antioxidants that guard against prostate cancer. Berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, all have antioxidants to help your body from free radicals that can cause cancer. Tomatoes are a great source of lycopene, which can inhibit prostate cancer, and that's according to the Journal of National Cancer Institute. Tea, just drinks a cup of tea now and then, contains compounds called catechins, which I'm probably mispronouncing. Anyway, that's also associated with reduced risk in some studies. Coffee, on the other hand, has been shown to significantly reduce the risk of even the most aggressive forms of prostate cancer, and also slows down the progression of the disease, according to the Journal of National Cancer of the National Cancer Institute. So coffee and tea, not two drinks that you often hear people saying bad things about.
Yeah.
I think it's the sugar that's bad. I'm one of those. Of all the things I do wrong, I think I do it right by not putting sugar in my coffee.
Yeah.
Fish has mixed reviews. Several researchers found that eating fish regularly reduced the risk of death from prostate cancer, while other studies showed no association. On the other hand, some studies showed that men who had high levels of omega-3 fatty acids from eating fish regularly actually were at increased risk of being diagnosed with prostate cancer. So there's a confusing one if you if you want to hear a confusing one.
There
So
you go.
anyway, those are the different things in the article. I wanted to go over it real quickly before we moved on.
That's very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. I mean, it's like common sense things, but you don't really think about it until you put it in perspective about maybe having a risk for cancer. So this is really, really good to
Absolutely.
keep mentioning it. Yeah.
And I think the thing you always hear, eat stuff in the produce section.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that what I just read?
Exactly.
Cauliflower, broccoli, fruits, vegetables, beans, mushrooms, seeds, onions,
Yeah.
berries, tomatoes, tea, and coffee are not there.
But it's so
fish is
colorful.
not there. But fish is the only one they were like, well, I'm not sure if that works or not. So,
Yeah, exactly.
all
Very
right.
colorful plate.
I don't know if I'm telling you all something you already knew or not, but I just thought I would share that with you for those who might benefit from it. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honeydew list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75. Or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
Here are today's headlines from the source WOCA. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is reporting that they responded to a call regarding a shooting yesterday evening shortly before 8 p.m. in Summerfield. 2 men were taken to a local hospital. One is listed in critical condition. The other is listed in stable condition. The report does not identify the men. The report indicates that the incident was at 9425 Southeast 145th Place. Detectives were working to figure out exactly what happened. They did not release details as to how many shots were fired or the type or caliber of weapon used. More sinkholes have opened up near an Ocala high school, the latest in a series of holes that have opened up in Marion County recently. These sinkholes were on the campus of Forest High School. A school official says he did not know how big the openings were, but they were in a designated water retention area, and they were not having an impact on campus activities. The openings at Forest High School marked the third time in the past few weeks that the ground has opened up around the county. Late last month, people were forced from their homes in the Four Ranch area. The parents of slain Florida teen Trayvon Martin say the Weinstein Company owes them at least $150,000 for optioning the rights to their book in order to make a yet unaired television series based on their son's legacy. Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin filed court papers last week in the company's case in federal bankruptcy court in Delaware. The television series has been filmed, and they are owed fees for executive producer services, the parents said in the court filing. If the television series airs, the parents will be owed further money, according to the report. The court filing also said the deal includes an option for the studio to purchase movie rights to their book, titled Rest in Power, The Enduring Life of Trayvon Martin, although that has not been exercised yet. A Florida voting rights group and university students from 2 schools sued the state's chief election official on Monday over a 4-year-old edict banning the use of college buildings as early voting